the Seton Hall Pirates, a program that has had a successful start to conference play. Thanks for making us part of your Saturday afternoon. Out of bounds. Possession Pirates. And for Seton Hall, possession, securing the basketball, it cannot be overstated against this UConn defense.
Yeah, you don't want to give UConn more possessions than they need, that's for sure, as they capitalize off of it. And you don't want to get into holes early, because they'll run with it.
For Seton Hall, it's just as important to make sure that UConn can't set up its press. And an early bucket from Mariana Valenzuela. UConn trails to Seton Hall.
Good start there, getting it into Valenzuela early.
Great hands in the passing lane. This is Catalan, takes it in on Shade, and it stays Pirates basketball.
The one thing you know you're going to get from this Pirates team is how hard that they always play. And they're looking to move the basketball today, get some touches inside.
It's a Seton Hall team that fell by 36 points at UConn earlier this year. Midway through the second quarter, it was about a 10-point game. Tony Bozzella wants to see his team play up to that level and perhaps more. Valenzuela again.
They're really looking to get it to her, and she's looking to post up strong down low.
This is Shade, a kick to Arnold, and an offensive foul.
Wow, what a play from Savannah Catalan right there. I mean, these are the controllables, though, that you want to see from Seton Hall. Just being able to control it on the defensive end.
And Tony Bozzella talked about, for Catalan, how good she is at drawing fouls at the offensive end. How about doing it at the defensive end?
You can control your defense. You can't always make shots, so I love to see that kind of hustle.
Even just a 4-point lead for Seton Hall, that's rare territory for UConn this year. They don't trail often. A corner three, rebounded by Arnold.
Well, that's a nice job, getting it inside, the pitch out. They want to get some three-point looks.
First two possessions, two turnovers for the Huskies. And again, this is a UConn team. They don't trail often or by much. Just a grand total of 12 minutes and change this entire season.
A couple more minutes added now to this game, right? It hasn't happened often, but you know, UConn had this was a change in the game, a change in the schedule. They had to drive all the way from DC to get here yesterday.
Schedule got moved up by 24 hours. Great pass in the post. It's been all Valenzuela early.
Wow, she's been tremendous. This is the game plan. Get it into her, and she's continuing to find the advantage in the paint.
It's a packed house here in New Jersey, and a lot of folks showing up to see the #1 team in the country. But for Seton Hall, give them a reason to support you guys, and so far they have. Azzi Fudd left all alone.
That's too easy for sure. And that's what they're going to look to do. And this is where UConn can come back to really beat you, is their three-point shooting prowess. But Mariana Valenzuela, what a start. The transfer from Florida State, just demanding the ball down low. When she catches it that deep in the lane, it's really tough to stop her. She's got a lot of height. She's 6'2". Really good at sealing off her defender.
And she's done all of her work so far on the inside. And Tony Bozzella said he wanted her shooting 6 or more threes per game to help stretch the floor.
Yeah, she could shoot from out there. 6 to 9 threes he'd like to get her.
This is Pinckney aggressive. Valenzuela slashes in. It's poked away. Strong veers off Pinckney. Fudd in transition. And one. Fudd's got all 5 for UConn, and a free throw can tie it.
And this is what happens. You blink, and Connecticut just scores at will. Up in transition, if they're able to get themselves running, that can be dangerous. And Azzi Fudd, who's been so consistent throughout the season, with so many weapons.
Can't be more consistent at the free throw line. Made all 32 this season. She's made 40 in a row dating back to last year. And the grad student has missed 8 in her career.
It's remarkable. Get to the line all the time, girl.
Yeah. Sarah Williams swats it out of bounds. Possession stays with Seton Hall. Pinckney to inbound. Bothered on the inbound by Fudd. Valenzuela for 3.
We just mentioned that, Adam. I think it was a 2. It looked like a 3, but stretching the floor. When you score inside, it'll open up your game from the perimeter.
And Valenzuela has all 8. So far, it's Mariana Valenzuela 8. AZ Fudd, she's got all 9 for UConn.
AZ Fudd, who just so calm, cool, and collected, just finding her rhythm from the perimeter.
No one picks up Codio.
But UConn's defense right now is struggling for them. Seton Hall's getting a lot of good action, but she's a player who really has only been with them since October 1st due to some of the visa issues that I've seen across the country that's happened at times, but she's really settled in now.
All 10 points for Seton Hall have come from transfer. She's from Florida State, and Jordana Codio is from Texas. Meanwhile, all 9 for UConn have been AZ Fudd. Hard rebounding action for stellar freshman Blanca Quiñones. Strong rebound by Valenzuela.
So far, Seton Hall has taken care of the basketball, and that's been a key. And they're playing it in the half-court game, which slowing the tempo is going to benefit them.
So far, it's UConn with more turnovers, 2-1. What a start for Valenzuela.
She's on fire. Just get her the basketball. So confident.
Get out of the way. Quiñones with an answer at the other end, but Seton Hall still leads this thing.
But Quiñones, the freshman, she's been incredible. 6-time Big East Freshman of the Week. She just gives another weapon for Gino.
Picked off. This is Shade with Quiñones. Back to Quiñones.
That's where you cannot allow those line ball turnovers. You've got to be able to get the ball across the floor and not turn that over, because it's a layup for UConn.
10 quick ones for Valenzuela. 4th time in the last 5 games she's hit double digits. And a 3 goes down for Catalan.
Really nice ball reversal, nice movement with the basketball.
Great catch and a double team by Strong, and she finishes.
That's the young lady who's got to keep getting touches in the paint, Sarah Strong.
The full court press on for UConn. Denied by Quiñones. There's a hard take by Codio.
Quiñones just shows that athleticism, the ability to just get a piece of the ball with the timing being impeccable right there. I mean, she's been just unbelievable to watch. She would be a star on any other team, and she comes off the bench for UConn, and she's been a weapon. Doesn't play like an 18-year-old freshman.
Valenzuela with an air ball. Secured by Strong. Tied game, but UConn has trailed for the bulk of this first quarter. And now they lead.
Seton Hall was in a zone there, and UConn just picked it apart. The perimeter shots are there for Connecticut.
Fudd flashes a double team, and it's a backcourt violation for Pinckney.
And they're going to really throw that double team at Pinckney. She's going to have to really be patient, and there's going to have to be other players that come help her out when she's being doubled like that. You can't run away.
You saw the numbers in terms of turnovers forced per game. Right now, Seton Hall on pace for 12 to 15 turnovers. I think that's a number that Tony Bozzella would live with given the circumstances of who he's going up against.
Right, Seton Hall committed 20 turnovers in the first half alone against UConn in the first meeting in January, early January.
Step through for Quinones and a shot clock violation.
Good defensive effort. That's balls on the balls of your feet. You're moving, you're communicating to force the turnover there.
So much is going well right now for Seton Hall. Despite that, UConn is still 7 of 10 from the field. And the Huskies have a slight edge for the latter stages of this first quarter. Pinckney bothered and tripped by Shade, much to her displeasure.
You can tell that UConn has amped up the defensive intensity here these last couple possessions.
Well, that was the impetus for the timeout from Gino Auriemma. It had nothing to do with the offensive end. It had everything to do with that run out by Codio.
You know that their defense is always going to give them a chance, UConn, every single day, because that's what they do well. They force you to play a lot faster than you want to, and teams end up getting worn down and turning it over.
Number 9, Kaylee Heckel, sophomore from Port Chester, New York, and a transfer from Southern Cal, has checked in, snatched away by Quinones. And now it's a run out. 5-point lead for UConn.
How about that, though, for anticipation? Quinones just a Hawkeye, just finding the basketball.
And you've got Strong and Quinones, both with massive wingspans that can be that active on defense. It creates a real problem.
In the game, I think UConn's defense looks better, and she's really given them a boost, a huge boost.
Plays under review.
Because
for UConn blowing the conference, the closest game they've had this year was that first meeting in this series. It was a 36-point win. They've averaged over 46 points as margin of victory in the 10 Big East games this season, as Kaylee Heckel announces herself.
Just a deep UConn roster this season. Gino Auriemma can play anybody.
Heckel averaged 6 points per game last year with USC in an over and back call. Codio is pleading that Strong actually reached in before she retouched it in the backcourt. And a conversation is happening with the officials. I think they got it right.
Yep.
Codio won her argument.
Seton Hall ball here.
Jordana Codio, number 67 recruit coming out of high school, went to University of Texas, played 40 games across multiple seasons, but averaged just about 4 minutes per game, and has a skill set that Tony Bozzella thinks a year from now could be awfully enticing to WNBA executives.
Look at her, 6'1". She's a versatile player.
Shot clock winding down. That shot maybe not directly in her bag of tricks. Up top for Sarah Williams, as UConn going with a big lineup and a 3-second call as Williams stayed too long in the paint.
I like the start here, though, from Seton Hall. Defensively, they've been sticking to it. They've been making it tough on UConn to get everything they want.
Seton Hall been stuck on 15 points for a little bit.
Valenzuela on that hot streak has gone a little bit more cold, but they're all over her since Quinones has been on her.
Codio shakes into Sarah Williams, loses her footing. Valenzuela finishes.
Wow, what a finish. What a beautiful pass. Heads up play.
This is Quinones, and she knocks one down from the outside.
And that's where you've got to hustle back in transition defense. Even when you score a bucket, UConn gets it up the floor faster than any team in the country.
And Blanca Quinones, a perfect 4 of 4 from the field. No answer the other way for Seton Hall. A 12-2 run right now for the Huskies. That one hits the shot clock. And after a torrid start, UConn settling into an 8-point lead late in the first. Seton Hall has led for more of this first quarter, though, than UConn. And just over 4 minutes worth of a lead for Seton Hall. That's the longest any team has led UConn this year, bar none.
I think that's a confidence builder right there, and Tony Bozzello can talk to them about that going into the second quarter.
Southern Cal led UConn for about 2.5 minutes in the first quarter when those two teams squared up, but that's it. Previously, that's the long. Some shade has been heating up from the outside of late. Final 5 seconds of this first quarter. Pinckney for Codio. And
Seton Hall had a really great start to this one. They took the lead early, but Connecticut has found their rhythm since then.
She's Julianne Vianney-Brain, Adam Giardino with you. Thanks to all of you for hanging out on a Saturday afternoon, one full day earlier than expected. Here's Fudd for 3, and she has been red hot from deep.
And it's tough because I know Tony Bozzello wants to switch some defenses up here a little bit. That was a zone. Every time they've gone into zone, Fudd has nailed a shot from back there from distance. It's really, really tough to guard them from
Fudd
the 3.
with 12, Quiñones with 9. That's 21 of the 28 for UConn. Tipped out of bounds by Quiñones. And you know, for Fudd, she's almost been shooting poor by her standards of late from the outside, and then she shows up and knocks down her first 3 triples of the day.
Yeah, and you know, I've seen her throughout her career go through little slumps here and there, but she's still going to put up those numbers and really make a difference. And that's one of the things she's done better this year is when she is missing shots. Coach Auriemma said she's doing other things in the past. That's an area she needed to improve upon because you get down on yourself if you're not making shots.
This is Quiñones, freshman from Ecuador, spent a lot of her formative years over in Europe. A kick to Shade. That one clangs out. Arnold crashes in for the board. A follow-up trigger from deep is no. Rebound tipped to the Pirates.
And those long shots means long rebounds. You've got to be ready.
An open look in the corner for Bishop. It knuckles off the heel of the rim. And a push is a foul on Seton Hall.
For Seton Hall to find some more success, they've got to make some of those threes. That is something we talked about with Tony Bozzello before the game. They are shooting 2 or 3 more threes per game this season. That is intentional because in the game of basketball nowadays, you do have to make threes. And to catch up with UConn, you've got to be able to knock some of those down.
Tony Bozzello almost got knocked down entirely there, crouched on the sideline. Our head coach seems to be all right. At the first meeting between these two teams, he said UConn made 8 more threes than Seton Hall did. So that's 24 points right on paper that you got to make up.
In less possessions, you get an extra point. Just the math all adds up. And this is a 2-3 zone here from Seton Hall, which means out of this long shots, you've got to be able to rebound.
And it's Codio there instead for Seton Hall. Arnold's already made a 3. She was held scoreless her last game against Georgetown. You mentioned the altered travel schedule. The plan was play Georgetown Thursday, fly back to Connecticut, take the bus yesterday, but that all got jumbled up because yesterday became today, and here we are playing on a Saturday at noon.
A lot of time on the bus, Coach Auriemma said. Not ideal, but you just roll with it. It's that time of year.
Great move by Valenzuela.
How impressive has Valenzuela been? Woo.
Her career high set just over a week ago. She had 26 points against Marquette. She's on that kind of pace here today. Sarah Strong for the bucket.
I like that little high-low action between the two posts, and Quinones finding Strong from that foul line extended.
Codio goes to work on Quinones and draws the foul. Mariana Valenzuela is 7 of 10 from the field because of moves like this.
Yeah, the little fake. Splits the D, throws you off a little bit. She's got some nice little moves in her repertoire. Third in the Big East in field goal percentage. I mean, a lot of her shots are around the rim, which is why she's got such a high percentage, but has to keep getting those touches.
We've seen Jordana Codio already make a bucket today. Knocks in the free throw. And we are in the throes of Big East Conference play. Coming up on Wednesday, you've got this trio of games, including UConn hosting Xavier, and they will be retiring. Well, they were putting Aaliyah Edwards into the Huskies Ring of Honor for all that she accomplished. Yeah. Here's Ali Zabel. Speaking of shooting well of late, and no one got a body on Sarah Strong.
Yeah, super easy for Strong. I mean, she just walked right in there. Didn't even bring the ball down.
And at all costs, you got to find Sarah Strong when a shot goes up.
Yeah, you have to put a body on her. Somehow she just got lost in the sauce, and she was able to find her nose to the rim. That's what she's good at. I mean, she's got a nose for the basketball. Tremendous rebounder.
And we got a 10-second call. Seton Hall not able to break the timeline in time. Turnovers starting to pile up a little bit more after Seton Hall was so judicious early on at protecting the basketball. This is Sarah Strong, who over the next 2.5 years looking to etch her name among the best in UConn history. What a storied list it is. AZ Fudd misses for the first time tonight. 11-point lead for UConn as Seton Hall wants to get this thing back to single digits. Yes. About the time in the first meeting that UConn really went on its run.
Seton Hall's got to keep reversing the ball. That ball can't stick on that left side.
Get a foul in the rebounding act. And so UConn basketball coming out of the whistle. There's a look at Valenzuela, who she's 7 for 10. Her teammates are a combined 2 of 13 so far.
They need to get some other people to step up here. Seton Hall, I mean, they've got to get some more points out of Catalan, out of Codio. And remember, we didn't really talk much about it. Jada Eads out for the season. She was another one that gave them some points, but they've picked it up since she's been gone.
Dangerous pass from Strong. It stays with the Huskies, but it doesn't mean that her head coach isn't staring daggers from the bench at her. Five on the shot clock. Quinones.
Another possession in the zone.
And again, when you have shooters like an AZ Fudd, when you have the height of a Sarah Strong and a Blanca Quinones, how about the luxury of her coming off the bench for a team?
A huge luxury. She's a starter anywhere else. Great potential for her future. I mean, the team played better when she came in the game.
3 in the shot clock. Hall Rosa.
That's a huge shot, much needed for Seton Hall to cut this thing to 10.
It was 8 points a few games ago for Hall Rosa. She can come off the bench and put some in, and so can Ali Zabel.
A lot of really open looks from the perimeter for the Huskies here, and they're 6 for 15. I mean, they've got a really good percentage.
Jump ball situation. Heard is the Milan of the Eastern time zone.
It really is.
Yes.
I think we should get some Italian, right?
That's perfect. 13-point lead for UConn. Again, this is a critical 4-minute stretch for Seton Hall. They want to get this to single digits. UConn wants to get it to 20 at halftime.
And it will be, like we said earlier, continuing to not allow this thing to bust open. If you're Seton Hall, you have to continue to score when you have the opportunity in possessions. You don't want to give it away like this potential giveaway. And they lucked out there.
Kaylee Hackle commits the foul. Nobody with multiple fouls for Seton Hall. Ashlyn Shade does have 2. She picked those up across 9 minutes.
For the most part, Seton Hall's played pretty disciplined. And when you play UConn, it's being able to carry that out throughout 40 minutes.
What do you think Tony Bozzella told his team in that last timeout as a run out for Quinones on a feed from Fudd?
Another line ball turnover. You just can't do it. You can't telegraph your passes. I think they're trying to force it in a little too much at times, where they saw success early.
Out of the corner, Hackle streaks in and grabs the miss from Jacayla Kraft. Zabel has knocked down 1-3. Strong with a couple of Pirates around her. Coughs it up, and here comes Catalan. Codio. And Codio swats it out.
One thing Seton Hall has not been able to do is get to the foul line, and that's a credit to UConn. UConn doesn't foul. They're the best in the country at not fouling, so it's hard to get easy buckets at the free throw line when you play against them. But even there, you saw Codio was looking for the foul, and Tony Bozzella said that before the game. Listen, we can't expect the foul. When you're going up, expect to make the shot, because they're not going to probably foul you.
Or at least not get whistled for it.
Yes, right.
Here's Sarah Strong for 2. But he said it out of respect in the sense that he loves how aggressive UConn is defensively. Exhibit A.
And this is where it can get really tough. You've got to be able to set screens here and get the ball inbounds. Good defense here from Connecticut.
For Seton Hall, as UConn gets to inbound under its basket. Hackle enters for Strong. A pop pass, hesitates for Hackle. And now Strong going to work as she's suffocated on the interior. Catalan and Hackle crash into one another, and it's a foul on Hackle.
And a good dive down from Kraft here. Jacayla Kraft does a good job just digging in, and there's the collision. And also Catalan getting involved there is good defense. Sarah Strong has been used to seeing those double teams in the paint.
So now it's Hackle and Ashlyn Shade with 2 fouls apiece for UConn. KK Arnold checks in. So does Sarah Williams. The pieces just keep coming at you from UConn. Catalan.
And that's what needs to happen. She's got to use her mid-range game against a team like UConn that is so good at defending the paint. Great job pulling up.
Catalan was right around 7 points per game as a freshman. Now in her junior season, she's basically doubled that. Zabel from the corner.
She's a sniper. You can't play the zone and not be there wherever she is. She's been pretty open.
Another takeaway by UConn. Got the shot clock reset. It was reset to 20 instead of being reset to 30 on the change of possession. This is into Strong. Valenzuela is called for a foul.
And Sarah Strong just getting some touches inside. Valenzuela gets her she's a little late with the rotation, and UConn is starting to get whatever they want here. What makes Connecticut so hard to guard is you see a player like Zabel knocking down threes.
Coming up on the Jeep halftime report, we will recap the first half, and we will get a preview of the NFL Conference Championship games from Mike Florio and Chris Sims.
Back to my point, when you see Zabel making those threes, and then you're covering the three-pointer, and then it opens up strong inside. Like, you basically picked your poison.
And then UConn comes at you and makes it difficult just to inbound the ball with that full court press. A tie-up by Strong, and possession stays down at this end.
This UConn team is definitely a little quicker than last year's team. The way that Coach Oriana can really send multiple players. They play a little bit faster.
A good start from the outside for UConn. They went cold for a little bit. That just rims out from Strong, but the shots are starting to fall from the outside a little more for the Huskies.
Well, they were shooting 50% for a while. You can't maintain that every game, right?
Foul from Williams. Catalan can't get it to go, but she'll get a pair of free throws.
A great job here pushing the tempo, and Savannah Catalan, she notices she's got a mismatch there with Williams covering her. Nice little inside-outside handle. And Catalan is a player that needs to get to the line, and we've talked about her 89% free throw shooting. She went 10 for 10 against DePaul on the 17th just recently. One of the best free throw shooters they have. She's very good at drawing fouls, but like I said earlier, hard to draw fouls against Connecticut because they don't foul a lot, or they don't get called for them.
Catalan is one of the top 20 free throw shooters by percentage in the country, and by volume, she's even better than that. Like you said, Harris Strong called for an offensive foul.
And then Catalan drawing that foul.
The second offensive foul she has drawn. She drew one on the second possession of the game.
She's extremely involved in every play, so dynamic. She has a burst of energy that this team feeds off of.
Seton Hall led this game 15-13. That was the last time they led. They led right out of the gate 6-zip. It's been mostly UConn since. The defense has ratcheted up for the Huskies, and another turnover forced by UConn.
If you stop your dribble early, you can get in trouble without having that purpose offensively.
3 Huskies in double digits. Quinones with 13, AZ Fudd with 12, Sarah Strong with 10. And it's Mariana Valenzuela with 14, but she's been at that number for a little bit.
UConn's done a good job on her since the first quarter.
But it couldn't have been a better start to the game for her. A flip into Strong. She gets her own miss. And the final seconds tick down. Seton Hall will not get it in. Thanks for hanging with us through some technical difficulties. Minute into half number 2, and that's as easy as can be for Sarah Strong.
Sarah Strong making it look easy for sure. So many things she does well.
Defense is toward the top of the list, one of the best at stealing the basketball, forcing turnovers, but a nice response for the Pirates.
Yeah, and that's what the Pirates need to do, just continue to chip away. You can't ever roll over, and these first couple minutes are important. You want to try to set the tone, either squad.
This is Arnold, who turns the corner and gets fouled by Bishop. Zahara Bishop from Minneapolis, won 3 straight Class 3A state titles, and commits a foul on Arnold to send her to the line.
And we haven't said Arnold's name a whole lot today. She hasn't had to do a ton. Wears that mask throughout the season, and she's been the most improved player this year, according to Coach Oriema. I mean, she's been second in the nation in her assist-to-turnover ratio. She's just made huge strides.
And that assist-to-turnover ratio has been even better over the last 5 games, where she's had 22 assists and just 3 turnovers in that stretch, over 7 assists per turnover.
But she's had a bigger role to play this season, and she's done it nicely. Has not had to sit behind some of the other players like Nika Mule in the past and Paige Beckers and some of those players. Now she can really shine a bit in the point guard position.
Suffocating defense on the outside. Pinckney emerges. Here's a kick. And a triple by Bishop.
And that's huge. And Bishop, a 34% three-point shooter from back there. She can knock those down. They've got to continue to rotate the basketball to get those looks.
And she's been shooting it from deep better of late. 6 of her last 9 coming in. The long 2 for Fudd. And a foul on Ashlyn Shade. She's picked up 3 fouls in rather short order here today.
Well, this is a nice skip pass. I'm a fan of the skip pass. The defense is scrambling. We're not able to close out quick enough on the 3-point shooting in Bishop's effort, and then that's the other end. Those are 2 different possessions that go to Seton Hall. You get a score, you get a bucket, and then you get a stop. It sounds so simple, Adam, but that is what you need to do to hang in there.
The 3 fouls on Shade as Arnold ambushes Valenzuela from the outside, but she's able to survive it. Now Quinones goes to the deck, but she turns it right back. Shot clock never reset. Now it does. Codio. And in transition, a rare catch not made by Strong, but it stays UConn basketball. .22 lead at the half. 21-point lead right now. Again, trying to win those 3-minute chunks if you're Seton Hall, and so far that's what they've done here in the 3rd. This is Arnold given a ton of room from the outside. Deflected out by Valenzuela.
Pretty nice job, though, by Valenzuela. Just 3-quarter fronting Sarah Strong. There's no help behind her.
But Jalen Pinckney checking out. She was a big storyline coming in, and that's an offensive foul. Quinones out of control. Pretty cut and dry here for Quinones.
Yeah, exactly. A nice job here. Just another one from Catalan. She's a tough-nailed girl, just taking it.
It's a game-best 16 points for Sarah Strong, leading all scorers so far here today and doing it just as efficiently as she always does. About a 60% shooter from the field this season.
And Coach Oriema telling us her strides will probably continue to just be subtle strides, because after that freshman year, not too many players have seasons like they had last year.
The word perfect rarely comes out of Gino Oriema's mouth, and he said what she did for us as a freshman was perfect. It was exactly what was needed, and that's exactly what Seton Hall needs. A nice outside attack from Savannah Catalan.
Those numbers, so fast to reach 1,000. She did it in the Notre Dame game, which that was an interesting game. I don't think anyone expected UConn to blow out Notre Dame the way they did.
Least of all, Gino Auriemma did not expect it.
Surprised. I mean, Hidalgo's a special talent, but they're down around her a little bit, so it's a little tougher this season. But this is what UConn's been doing to everybody across the country.
Yeah, because previous matchups between UConn and Notre Dame, Hannah Hidalgo has taken over in a lot of ways.
They have a hard time with her as a matchup. Her defensive quickness, or excuse me, her offensive quickness.
And oh, by the way, for Sarah Strong, pretty good company to keep. Anytime we can throw something up, and your name's with Maya Moore, Paige Beckers.
Pretty good is right.
And somewhere behind her is a Diana Taurasi, a Sue Bird.
And she's still such a young player. And the fact that she just is so cool, is so calm.
And you can see the growth from Sarah Strong year over year, this team year over year. That, again, just doing what they did against Notre Dame, it just fits in with the overall numbers, what they've done in conference play.
And you wonder, I mean, you can compare last year's team to this year's team. They are a little different. A lot of the same players are back. I wouldn't say this year's team's better so much, and so to say. They did lose the National Player of the Year, but they have come together and made up for that in other ways.
Right, you lose the National Player of the Year, you lose the WNBA Rookie of the Year, and somehow you get better.
Yeah, it's crazy, it really is. And as a whole, they've all made up for it. They didn't replace Paige Beckers with someone specific. They just had to find a way as a whole to get it done.
And I think one of the storylines that's becoming clearer for UConn is one of the things that has gotten better this year is the individual defense of AZ5.
Absolutely. And her ability to do some other things besides score.
UConn 23-point competition.
It's really incredible when you think about that number, and you just get used to seeing UConn so successful. But it's nothing to overlook. I mean, it's impressive that they can do it year after year after year.
And during this stretch over the last 3 years, since the start of 2023-24, it's been 51 straight wins, all of which in conference play have been by double digits.
I personally don't see another team better than them right now. To me, they're the best team in the country. Now, we obviously have talks of other teams, UCLA, Texas, LSU, the teams that we've been talking about, South Carolina.
Give me Vanderbilt. I want them in the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, and they get left off sometimes. I mean, they're like number 5 in the AP poll right now, and they've had a tremendous season at 20-0. They haven't lost. Neither has UConn. I think, and we talked to Gino about this, it's still a little early to be able to tell what's going to happen come February, March. I mean, we're almost halfway through the season here, though. There's a whole other half of conference play to go. But the top 5 teams, it's been pretty sure so far throughout the season.
Matchup between South Carolina and Vanderbilt tomorrow that I think
that'll be a big one.
Yeah, going to learn something about Shea Ralph's group. Not that we haven't already.
Yeah, and another player, a former UConn Husky who's so successful now at the coaching level. She was with Gino for a while.
Carla Berube at Princeton as well.
That's right.
Got them playing well in the Ivy League and in the top 25.
They're that team I love to talk about because they fly under the radar, and like they've been tremendous too all season. Team you don't really want to face in the NCAA tournament is Princeton.
They had a nail biter the other day against Harvard.
That's right.
They snuck that one out at home. Harvard had a great year a year ago. Ivy League got 3 teams into the NCAA tournament last year.
That's better than I think ever. I mean, it's been getting stronger and stronger.
It's a Seton Hall team that competed hard against Princeton earlier this year. You can see Seton Hall has 5 losses this year.
To some tough teams.
Yeah, and 2 or 3 of those.
They were close, close battles.
The Pirates wish they'd come out on the other side of things.
Columbia, they lost to North Carolina State. They had that game too. They were winning in that one.
to beat Auburn. Ashlyn Shade getting herself reacclimated. She's been hampered by foul trouble. We told you what we've got coming up, and look at all of those teams inside the top 15, including a ranked matchup tomorrow between Ohio State and Iowa.
That should be a real fun one to watch. You got to tune into that.
Shade will try it again. Zabel rebound. Shade not shy on the reload.
Ashlyn Shade, another player that can really knock it down when she's got some openings. She's a dependable shooter.
She was Big East Freshman of the Year, and then last year as a sophomore, she was 6th Woman of the Year. Nice bit of defense by Pinkney, poking it out from behind on Strong.
And the way that Ashlyn Shade has improved, she's really been able to fight past any self-doubt and get more and more confidence as she's continued to play. She steps up when the team needs her. She's just really dependable in every single way when they need her to put some points on the board. She doesn't force things. I just like her game. Really good mid-range shooter too, which I always say is a lost art.
And as a freshman, due to all the injuries around her, she was needed to be a massive piece of UConn's run to the Final Four.
And she was great.
Yeah. And she's taken on different roles each of the last 2 years. That one bricks. And for Codio, another miss from the outside. Arnold in transition.
And this is where it's gotten away here from Seton Hall. Just Connecticut's pressure. That is what they do. They're high pressure defense. It just wears teams down. And they're doing this across the country.
It's an 8-0 run in less than 90 seconds to take it from 22 points to 30 in a blink. UConn 6 of 13 in the half. Meanwhile, Seton Hall has missed 5 straight field goals. Shot clock winds down. Arnold.
Possession, Seton Hall made them work. You see Jana Alfie is in the game, missed a few games with the concussion, but she's back. Getting some minutes here.
Redshirt sophomore from Cairo. Ruptured her Achilles back in July of 2023, coming off 4 games with a concussion. And so for El Alfie, just getting those legs back beneath her.
Yeah, Coach Auriemma told us he just wants her to be good defensively. That's where he wants her to continue to improve so she can get back into that rotation. As long as you can defend at a high level, nothing has to be spectacular, but it's got to be solid, then you're going to find time in that rotation. And he could use that. It just will cause more depth for him, or give him more depth.
She played just 4 minutes last game, and that was the season low, so we'll see what kind of run she gets here over the final 12 minutes of this one. The line, it's Jakayla Kraft, sophomore from Elk River, Minnesota. A couple of points off turnovers there for Seton Hall. UConn controlling that category, plus 15.
Coach Mazzella looking to try to get Kraft more and more minutes as he feels that she can just do so many different things.
Zabel knocks it down.
She's been just shooting the ball so well from distance here.
Well, Rosa gets to a good spot on the floor, but pivots out of it.
And Coach Auriemma told Zabel to not wait your turn, to go out there, to be confident. You were a high school All-American, and don't defer. And you can see that she's confident with her shooting.
Getting more so as this season has gone on. Said, yeah, it's funny that players, they're on their own timeline sometimes. Loose ball, bounces around, last touched by Cam Rust of the Pirates. Savannah Jones out there as well. Cam Rust is a sophomore from Wakefield, Rhode Island. Transfer from Penn State. Played 19 games a year ago, about 5 minutes a contest. Skip pass over to Zabel, no hesitation, even as it was challenged by Kraft. That's a shot that she wouldn't have even tried last year, and that's the confidence.
That's where you see the growth, right? And that's what you're looking for as a coach in your program. That's a nice pass right there, a good duck in.
A rear bobble by Quinones. Hackle hits the deck. And a 5th foul for Seton Hall here in the 3rd puts UConn at the line. Well, we told you that ball security is going to be of the utmost importance. And for UConn, they forced 25 turnovers a game. Seton Hall right now, 20 turnovers.
It's getting to where it was in the last game. Now, Seton Hall did a better job getting to halftime with less. So I do think there was improvement there. And for the most part, the Pirates have been pretty good in that department throughout the season. You can kind of throw the UConn games out, and their ball security has been pretty good this year. Really good.
And Tony Bozella said that it's not just the UConn game, but it's the anticipation of the game before. It's the recovery of the game after. And it's almost like you got to play UConn twice, and it affects 6 games on your schedule every year.
Well, mentally you get killed, and I'm speaking from a former player perspective. And you do have to mentally prepare yourself to play that, physically and all that, mentally, emotionally, and then mentally prepare yourself for a potential blowout. It's not every conference has to deal with that, and Big East does.
See the 4th foul on Hackle. Catalan's not even going to hit rim.
Right.
How good she is at the line.
Just perfect touch, and you just jinxed her.
There we go. But second bite at the apple here for Seton Hall. Maybe they can make something more out of it. About a second difference between shot and game clock. Quinones nearly the steal. This is Pinckney. Halrosa heaves it. Doesn't catch iron. Arnold will not try it. It's
In the second best, but UConn was able to really blow through them too, and they're a good team. Seton Hall's a good team, and there are teams here near the end that can make a run. I think UConn has separated themselves completely from the rest of the pack. You know, people are saying the Big East is a little bit down, but I wouldn't say that. I think that there's still a lot of parity in the rest of the league besides UConn, and to have to play them twice kind of creates a little blemish on your schedule, I guess you could say. Your league schedule.
Coming into the weekend, RPI and obviously the net rankings are part of the equation. Villanova is 17 in the RPI. Seton Hall is 32 in the RPI. The net numbers are a little lower. The strength of schedule.
Haven't gotten quite the respect this year.
Yep. A little lower, but keep taking care of business. If you're Seton Hall and Villanova and you don't have any missteps outside of against each other in UConn, you're going to do it.
Possibilities, exactly.
Yeah. You're going to keep your name right in that conversation. Third time this year that Seton Hall has had 20 or more turnovers. 2 of those now are against UConn. The other was on the road out in San Francisco. I think they were weighed down by some sourdough that day.
That's right.
A little West Coast trip.
A little sourdough to weigh you down.
Zabel, travel before the drop off to El Alfi.
I like Zabel's, you know, ability to get to the rim there, though. She's been just shooting from the 3 and not afraid to put it on the deck there to try to create something off the bounce.
Zabel with the strip. She's ahead of the pack. You know what she can do from the outside, and Zabel into double digits.
She's continuing to do what she's been doing her whole life, just gaining more and more confidence, figuring out more and more who she is as the season has progressed and what she can add to this team, which is a lot.
The 11 points is the third time this season with at least 11. It's the fourth time in her career, and defense turns into offense real quick.
Yeah, I like Ali Zabel's game, and that was a nice job. Just getting in the passing lanes and then utilizing it for an easy bucket in transition. She's got that nice size at 6 feet. She can move around the floor in different positions for Gino Auriemma, and she's a tremendous shooter that you can count on.
Catalan gives it up. She hits the deck. She's slow to get up, but she does. And there's Valenzuela, who's been stuck on 14 points after such an incredible start for her and the Pirates today.
Give credit to UConn because they just shut her down after that first quarter. That was it. And that's what Coach Auriemma and this UConn Huskies team does well. You beat me once, okay. You beat me twice, well, we're not gonna allow that to happen. So they do adjust, and nobody else has been able to totally step up offensively.
36 points right now, the lead. That was the final margin between these two teams 5 games back. Another foul on UConn, and a teaching moment for Blanca Quiñones. She looks to her bench, and Gino Auriemma.
But she's done a great job on Valenzuela for sure.
Especially with Sarah Williams heading off to the locker room. Williams is back. It looks like a lower right leg injury. Valenzuela gets bothered.
I think Valenzuela, to me, could be a next-level player. I think she could play in the W. I mean, with the way that she carries herself, her ability to score around the rim, she's a WNBA player. In my opinion, she's been really good today. She spot runs for Tony. They have her rim run. They don't have her rim run as much. They want to get her shots on the go, and she can do it in the paint too.
There was a look at Sarah Williams back on the bench. Valenzuela, prior to those free throws, had just 2 points since that excellent first quarter. Friendly fire between Heckel and Al-Alfi, and it creates an opportunity the other way for Seton Hall. This is Pinckney. A one-handed rebounding effort. Zabel tips it to Heckel. Baseball pass ahead, Quiñones.
That quick up-tempo game from the Huskies, just you blink and it's already at the other end.
The UConn offense that averages right at 90 points per game this season. Valenzuela said, "You're going to give me a little breathing room, I'll take it."
Yeah, I mean, their offense has been incredible, and the fact that UConn leads the nation with 24 assists per game is also an enormous credit. To be able to score like that, pass like that, and the way they took down all those #1 seeds last year, it's impressive what they've done.
Ashlyn Shade, as UConn keeps coming at you.
And no matter what the score is, the Huskies are always playing the same. They never change how they play. They keep their foot on the pedal.
Whistle on Al-Alfi from behind. And it's Ayanna Patterson hopping off the bench for UConn to check in for Al-Alfi. Jordana Codio had 12 points against UConn in the first meeting. Sunday, February 8th, it's Super Bowl 60. The live can't-miss spectacle is part of a legendary February on NBC and Peacock. Thanks for making us part of your Saturday. And if you're in harm's way of the storm, hunker down, have a nice weekend. Stay safe out there.
It's cold. It's real cold here in the Northeast. Stay warm.
Yeah, the precipitation hasn't started, but the Arctic chill definitely has. Zabel. Can't be saved on that far side. That's Sahara Bishop who steps out of bounds. This game supposed to be tomorrow at noon. The weather moved it up, and so that altered UConn's travel plans. They hopped on a bus from Washington, D.C. after Thursday's game and got into town yesterday.
Part of that maybe slow start had to do with some of that travel. I mean, who knows?
Do you think Gino Auriemma is going to use that excuse?
No, I don't think so.
No. Alvarosa, nice touch.
He's pretty realistic, though. Like, he's hard on these players, but when you talk to him, he's a realist. He realizes, hey, my team is not always going to shoot 50-something%, you know? But as long as it doesn't stretch out for an entire game.
And yet for UConn, third in the country in scoring offense, tops in assists, like you said, top in the country in assists to turnover ratio. They're top in scoring defense. There are so many numbers to like that it's hard if you're Gino Auriemma to continue to find ways to improve these players.
It really is, and you know what he always says is he really doesn't have to try to motivate them because they're motivated themselves. That's how they are, and they try to just go in one game at a time, and if the game is close, it's close. If it's not, it's not. They're still playing the same way, and it's remarkable how he's been able to get the best out of everybody, and of course with Chris Daly, who's been there for 41 years with him.
A bit of a tangle there in the backcourt, and an offensive foul on Ashlyn Shade. UConn picks up the foul.
So cool, and you know, you said it. I mean, I know that Jordana Codia wants to position herself to get drafted, and you know that's why she went to Seton Hall. She's got the relationship with Tony, and Tony's been great at being able to have good relationships with his players. And you said it, I was at Marist, he was at Iona, we were competitive against each other. Now we're good friends. And he was always up there in the MAC conference as well. He's very successful there. And he's carried it over at Seton Hall. A very cool story when you see the generational talent, the generational relationships.
So is that an open invitation at Thanksgiving type relationship? I think it is.
So, yeah.
When you're that entwined with the whole family.
I would say.
What do you remember about him as an Iona coach when you were on the court?
I remember his intensity. I will absolutely never forget just how into it he was. We could hear him in the locker room below us, and you know, just screaming in a good way. Though it wasn't like anything that you don't expect as a player. And I just thought it was so awesome how intense he was, and just into it. And you want that in a coach.
Wait, when he's yelling at his team at halftime,
we could hear it.
So you got the whole scouting report. You knew the adjustments. You knew all the game plan.
Yeah, we knew it.
He needed soundproofing.
That's right.
In those locker rooms when he was going up against.
We had some heated games against them in the MAC championships. I mean, we had some really great teams.
What do you remember about you brought up the NCAA tournament win that Marist had in the first round. What do you remember about that?
Oh man, we had the first and second round we won that year.
Yeah.
We played when we went to the Sweet 16. It was incredible. Playing Ohio State, playing Middle Tennessee State. Just the fact that we were kind of a mid-major at the time, where we were looked at as, you know, who is this team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up just making the kind of noise we did. A real Cinderella story. You're not going to see it as much anymore with the way that NIL has gone, and the way the mid-majors and stuff don't have as much money to get those players now. But back then, when I played, I'm aging myself here a little bit, you really had the opportunity to make some noise. It was a lot of fun. It really was. But he talked about it with us on the phone, because he was saying how our team was such a good three-point shooting team. And that's where the game has really evolved. We were doing it then, and it's continued to evolve even more, where that 3-ball has won, it's really won over the game. It's international kind of flavor.
We'll call it over a decade ago when you played. So at the time, did the players buy in because you were ahead of the curve, or was it sort of a, well, coach is telling us to do this, so we're just going to do it?
I think it was part of buying into the system, of course, but it was also the shooters that were on the team. We just had good shooters, so I think all of that really helped. We had some post players that could step out and shoot. You didn't see that as much 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but it's gotten more dominant, where you can't even be a post player and not be able to make a three.
Bounce pass into Patterson, taken away.
It's been fun to watch, though. It evolve into the game more, because everybody likes offense.
Well, and that's where Seton Hall went from 5.5 made threes a game to 7.5 this year. And Tony said, hey, next year we want to be up near 9-10 made threes per game. Khalees Fisher with a spectacular first foray into the game.
And I like that about Coach Brazell, because he is not afraid to let his team evolve. And that's a nice job.
Welcome you back as UConn on its possession immediately out of the break. Goes to work down in the post.
And you see different players getting some minutes here. Patterson, she came back against Creighton.
Just the entirety of both the 23-24 and 24-25 seasons. And comes into the program as the #4 recruit back in 2022. And she's got UConn right at their season average, 90 points here today. UConn outscoring Seton Hall by 16 here in the second half. A couple minutes away from a 42nd straight win head-to-head against the Pirates. UConn with 4 players in double figures. Sarah Strong leading the way with 17 points in 27 minutes. 16 for Blanca Quiñones, 14 for AZ Fudd, and Ali Zabel chipped in with 11.
Yeah, they've really gotten through the league pretty easy this year.
Great find from Caroline Ducharme to feed Jana El-Alfi.
And good to see her back on the floor, and good passing. Interiorly, Ducharme struggled with some head injuries and missed a lot of time, but a great player too.
We highlighted the performances of Quiñones and Zabel. UConn outscoring Seton Hall off the bench by 35 points here today, 45-10. It's just that depth that is unrelenting.
It's hard to compare. It's hard to compete with that depth, because you look down the line and Coach Auriemma can really go to anybody on the bench, and they're gonna probably outscore starters from teams sometimes.
Feed from Fisher. It's Patterson. Lobs it into the post, poked away from Ducharme. The run out by Woodard. Ari Woodard, a freshman from Oviedo, Florida. Played just 40 minutes so far this season. Gets to lace him up against the #1 team in the country. Swirls out a triple. She's made one of those this season. Hall-Rosa tries her luck. That's no good. Kraft can't get the follow, and a foul by El-Alfi and Fisher converging.
I like the hustle, I do. The physical play, continuing to go after it. I mean, and you've got to continue to hustle and go after loose balls and rebounds, no matter what the score is. And UConn's about to hang 100. They're not going to quite make it, but what an offensive performance from the Huskies.
The last effort doesn't go. The first meeting between these two teams.